Something unexpected is happening in England, quietly, steadily, and most people are not paying attention yet. In churches once thought to be fading into history, pews are filling again. Confession lines are growing longer. Seminaries that once struggled to survive are welcoming new young men discerning the priesthood. And at Easter alone, over 1,000 adults were received into the Catholic Church. A sharp rise that has surprised even long-time observers. This is not a short-lived moment. It is the beginning of a deeper shift. Stay with this story until the end. Because what is unfolding in England challenges everything we were told about faith, modern life, and the future of religion in the West. For decades, England was seen as a model of secular progress. Faith was treated as something private, optional, even outdated. Churches emptied. Religious language disappeared from public life. Many assumed this was the natural direction of history. Religion would slowly fade, replaced by comfort, technology, and personal freedom. But that story is now breaking down. England today is materially advanced, yet spiritually restless. Loneliness has reached historic levels. Anxiety and depression are no longer rare struggles, but common experiences, especially among young people. Many report feeling disconnected, not just from religion, but from meaning itself. Life feels busy, loud, and fast, yet strangely empty. In the middle of this unease, people are searching again. Not for trends or slogans, but for something solid. Catholicism is drawing attention because it offers what modern culture often cannot: stability, continuity, sacred order. It does not promise quick happiness. It offers truth, structure, its purpose rooted in something older and deeper than the modern world. At the heart of this revival is the Catholic Mass. For those encountering it for the first time, it feels different from almost anything else in modern life. There is silence. There is reverence. There is a sense that something serious is taking place. Catholics believe the Mass is not symbolic theater, but a real encounter with Christ present in the Eucharist. This belief shapes everything: the gestures, the language, the pace, and the care with which it is celebrated. Many converts describe their first experience of the Mass as unsettling in a good way. There is no pressure to be entertained, no attempt to simplify mystery. Instead, there is an invitation to step out of constant noise and into something holy. For a culture tired of being stimulated, this quiet depth is powerful. Both forms of the Mass are drawing people in. Some are moved by the clarity and structure of the ordinary form. Others are drawn to the traditional Latin Mass, with its ancient language, chant, and sense of timelessness. What unites them is not preference, but hunger for reverence. People are not coming because the Church changed to match the world. They are coming because it did not. This revival is not being driven by advertising or campaigns. It is happening through personal encounters. A friend invites someone to Mass. A curious student reads church history. A restless soul steps into a cathedral and feels something they cannot explain. Conversion stories often unfold slowly, marked by questions, struggle, and reflection. Many converts speak of being drawn first by beauty, the architecture, the music. The art, beauty opens a door that arguments cannot. Once inside, they encounter something more demanding but also more satisfying. Catholic teaching does not bend easily to personal preference. It challenges, corrects, and calls for commitment. For many, is exactly why it feels true. Another major force behind Catholicism's comeback in England is the growing disappointment with secular promises. For years, society was told that freedom meant removing limits. That meaning could be created individually. That tradition was an obstacle rather than a gift. But the result has not been fulfillment. It has been confusion. When everything is negotiable, nothing feels secure. Many now feel unanchored, unsure of who they are or what they are for. Catholicism offers an answer that does not shift with opinion. It teaches that truth exists, that good and evil are real, and that life has a purpose beyond comfort. This clarity is not oppressive to those seeking it. It is freeing. England's Catholic revival is also tied to memory. Before the Reformation, England was deeply Catholic. It was known across Europe as a land devoted to the Virgin Mary, often called Our Lady's Dowry. This was not a poetic phrase. It reflected a lived reality. The land was filled with monasteries, shrines, and pilgrim paths. Faith shaped culture, law, and daily life. The Reformation did not erase this history. It buried it. Catholicism was driven underground. Priests were hunted. Mass was forbidden. To be Catholic was dangerous. Yet the faith survived in secret, passed through families, and whispered prayers. Martyrs chose death rather than deny their beliefs. Their witness did not vanish. It waited. Today, many converts describe discovering this hidden history as a turning point. They realize Catholicism is not foreign to England. It is older than the divisions that tried to erase it. Learning about figures like St. Thomas More and St. Margaret Clitheroe reveals a faith rooted in courage and conscience. This history gives modern conversion a sense of homecoming rather than rebellion. One moment that symbolized this reconnection was England's rededication to the Virgin Mary. This act was not political or nostalgic. It was spiritual. Catholics across the country joined together to place the nation once again under Mary's care. For many, it felt like reclaiming something long forgotten. Alongside this, pilgrimage has returned. Walsingham, once reduced to ruins, now welcomes pilgrims again. People walk ancient paths, not as tourists, but as seekers. They pray, reflect, and rediscover a rhythm of life shaped by faith rather than urgency. These pilgrimages speak to a desire to slow down and reconnect with the sacred. Public expressions of faith are also reappearing. Rosary gatherings, processions, and open prayer are no longer as rare as they once were. These acts are not aggressive or loud. They are calm and reverent. In a society unused to seeing faith lived publicly, their quiet confidence makes an impression. Young people are at the center of this renewal. Contrary to common assumptions, many are not rejecting tradition. They are seeking it. Youth gatherings focused on prayer, Eucharistic adoration, and teaching are growing. These young Catholics are not interested in vague spirituality. They want clarity, discipline, and truth. This generation has grown up surrounded by endless information but little wisdom. They have seen institutions fail and promises break. Catholicism offers them something solid. A faith that asks for sacrifice but gives meaning. A community that calls them higher rather than flatter their desires. Priestly vocations reflect this change. Young men are stepping forward, drawn not by status but by service. They are inspired by priests who preach clearly, live simply, and place the sacred at the center of their lives. These priests are not chasing relevance. They are offering reality. Religious communities are also experiencing renewal. Places known for prayer, beauty, and fidelity are attracting both converts and lifelong Catholics. These communities provide a living example of ordered life, something rare in a fragmented culture. All of this points to one truth. Catholicism's comeback in England is not accidental. It is a response to hunger. Spiritual hunger. Moral hunger. A hunger for meaning that comfort alone cannot satisfy. This revival is not loud. It does not dominate headlines. But it is real. It is personal. And it is growing. England, once assumed to be finished with faith, is discovering it again, not as a relic, but as a lifeline. To understand why Catholicism is drawing so many people in England today, we need to look closely at who is converting and what they are leaving behind. This revival is not limited to one background or age group. It includes former Anglicans, evangelicals, and a growing number of people who were raised with no religion at all. What unites them is not nostalgia, but dissatisfaction. A sense that something essential has been missing. Many converts come from Anglicanism. For generations, the Church of England was seen as a middle ground, rooted in tradition, yet adapted to modern life. But in recent years, deep divisions over belief, authority, and moral teaching have created uncertainty. Many Anglicans describe feeling unmoored. Core doctrines seem negotiable. Church teaching appears to shift with cultural pressure. For those seeking firm ground, this instability becomes exhausting. Catholicism offers something different. It claims continuity. Converts are often struck by the idea that Catholic teaching today is the same teaching held centuries ago. This consistency is not seen as stubbornness, but as faithfulness. People searching for truth find comfort in a church that does not reinvent itself every generation. For evangelicals, the journey is often different. Many come from vibrant communities centered on preaching and personal faith. But over time, some begin to feel that something is lacking. Worship can feel emotionally intense yet fleeting. The sacraments, history, and connection to the early church are often absent. Catholicism answers these longings by offering a faith that is not only believed, but practiced physically through sacraments. Former evangelicals frequently speak about discovering the Eucharist as a turning point. The idea that Christ is truly present, not symbolically, but actually changes everything. Faith is no longer only internal. It becomes embodied. Grace is received, not just felt. For many, this realization is overwhelming and transformative. A growing number of converts come from no religious background at all. These individuals often begin with philosophy or history rather than belief. They read thinkers like Augustine, Aquinas, and modern Catholic writers searching for answers to life's hardest questions. They are drawn by the Church's intellectual tradition, which treats reason and faith not as enemies, but as partners in a culture that often dismisses religion as irrational. Catholicism surprises many seekers. It does not ask them to abandon thought. It invites them to think more deeply. Converts frequently say they were struck by the seriousness with which the Church approaches truth. Moral questions are not reduced to opinion. They are grounded in a vision of the human person. This vision is especially attractive in a society shaped by moral confusion. Modern England is filled with competing voices telling people who they should be and what they should value. Identity is treated as something endlessly changeable. For many, this freedom becomes a burden. Without limits, there is no direction. Catholicism offers a clear anthropology. It teaches that human beings are created with purpose, that freedom is not the absence of boundaries, but the ability to choose the good. That love requires sacrifice. These ideas challenge modern assumptions. They also answer deep longings. Another major force behind conversion is the sacrament of confession. In a culture that speaks endlessly about self-expression, but rarely about forgiveness, confession offers something rare. Honest acknowledgement of sin, real absolution, a chance to begin again. Many converts describe their first confession as one of the most freeing experiences of their lives. Instead of being shamed, they feel relieved. Instead of being judged, they feel understood. The sacrament does not deny human weakness. It takes it seriously. For people carrying guilt, regret, or moral confusion, this honesty is healing. The revival of confession is closely tied to the revival of reverence. Churches that emphasize silence, prayer, and sacred music are often the ones seeing growth. Converts are not looking for performance. They are looking for encounter. The stillness of Catholic worship allows space for reflection in a world that never stops talking. Community also plays a vital role. Many converts speak of finding real belonging in Catholic parishes. Not perfect communities, but committed ones. People who pray together, serve together, and share life's struggles. In a fragmented society, this sense of shared purpose is powerful. Importantly, this revival is not driven by comfort. Catholic teaching is demanding. It speaks clearly on issues of marriage, sexuality, and the value of life. Converts are aware of these teachings before they enter the church. Many say this clarity is precisely what drew them in. They were tired of churches that avoided hard truths. Young adults are especially drawn to this seriousness. Raised in a world of constant compromise, they respond to a faith that asks something of them. They want to give their lives meaningfully. Catholicism offers a path that is challenging but coherent. This is visible in youth movements across England. Gatherings focused on prayer, teaching, and Eucharistic adoration are growing. These are not social clubs. They are spaces of formation. Young people kneel, pray, sing, and learn. They speak openly about chastity, vocation, and commitment. Far from being embarrassed by faith, they are confident in it. This confidence is reshaping parish life. Young families are returning. Children are being raised with clear moral grounding. Parishes once worried about survival are now thinking about growth. This renewal is slow but steady, built on relationships rather than trends. Priests play a crucial role in this process. Converts often mention priests who preached clearly, listened carefully, and lived faithfully. These priests did not dilute teaching to attract crowds. They trusted that truth offered with love would draw those who were ready. A new generation of priests is emerging in England. Men who understand the modern world, but are not shaped by it. They speak openly about sin and grace. They emphasize the sacraments. They live visibly priestly lives. Their example inspires trust and attracts vocations. Religious communities also contribute to this revival. Communities known for prayer, beauty, and fidelity are growing. Their churches are filled with chant, incense, and silence. In a noisy culture, these elements feel like an oasis. People enter out of curiosity and leave changed. Another important factor is the rediscovery of Catholic moral teaching. In recent years, many have seen how quickly moral standards can shift. What was praised yesterday is condemned today. This instability creates anxiety. Catholicism offers a moral framework rooted in natural law and centuries of reflection. Converts often describe this as grounding. They find peace in knowing that moral truth is not decided by popularity, that right and wrong exists beyond opinion. This does not make life easier. It makes it clearer. For many, clarity brings peace. The stories of converts often share a common pattern: restlessness, searching, encounter, struggle, surrender. Conversion is rarely instant. It involves wrestling with doubts, confronting personal habits, and reordering life. But those who complete the journey often describe a deep sense of homecoming. They speak of finally understanding why they felt dissatisfied, why success did not satisfy, why freedom without truth felt hollow. Catholicism gives shape to these experiences. It names what they sensed but could not articulate. This revival is not about numbers alone. It is about depth. People are not drifting into Catholicism casually. They are choosing it deliberately, often at personal cost. Some face misunderstanding from family or friends. Others must unlearn assumptions built over a lifetime. Yet they persist. England's Catholic comeback is therefore not superficial. It is rooted in conviction. It grows through conversion, not inheritance. It advances quietly, one life at a time. If this trend continues, England may witness something few expected. Not just growth in numbers, but depth of conviction. A church smaller than in centuries past, but stronger, more intentional, more rooted. Catholicism's comeback in England reminds us of something important. Faith does not disappear when pushed aside. It waits, it endures. And when the time is right, it returns, not with force, but with truth. For those watching this story unfold, there is a personal question beneath it all. What are you searching for? Comfort or meaning? Freedom or truth? Noise or silence? The answers people are finding in Catholicism are not abstract. They are lived. This revival invites reflection. It asks whether modern life has delivered what it promised. It asks whether faith might offer something still needed, not as escape, but as foundation. England's Catholic renewal is real. It is growing, and it is only beginning. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on where you are in your own search for meaning. If you found this exploration helpful and want to see more stories like this, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos.